Yes, indeed. Yo, what is the deal? Welcome to the No Pick Show. What we do with no hand holding, we do with facts, not emotion. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. We got more Jaylen Brown smoke, more Jaylen Brown rumors. I don't know. I don't want to get myself too invested in this because, when the initial rumors came out from Jake Fisher, it was immediately kind of shut down behind the scenes to me when I spoke to people. They was like, nah, that ain't really true, Cheddar. That ain't happened like that. So here's some of the new rumors, pretty much a doubling down by Ian, who covers the Miami Heat, saying that Boston is in the running for Giannis after the Kumpo. And y'all, please pardon me. I'm eating a cold drop because I'm just getting over a cold. Giannis is in the running for Milwaukee's in the running for Giannis after the Kumpo. Jaylen Brown would potentially be headed to a third team, and one of those third teams could potentially be the Pelicans. So we're gonna watch this and we're gonna talk about it for a little while.
He'll throw this up on Twitter, but yeah, I think Boston not only is back in it, but I think Milwaukee right now is simply trying to find a third team for Jaylen Brown. They don't want a player like that. They don't want a mid-career player if they're trading Giannis. So from what I've heard, they are looking at Jaylen Brown in terms of flipping him to another team. I've been told possibly Atlanta. There you go, Hollywood. I've been told possibly New Orleans, who have young players. Could be simple as Jonathan Kuminga and a boatload of picks between Boston and Atlanta if he goes to Atlanta. New Orleans, we know as Herb Jones has young players. So, yeah, that's very real. And a matter of fact, it's interesting. When I was on with Hockman last week, I said, because this is what I do, I was preparing my Heat Get Giannis story because you have to be ready in this business.
Right.
This morning, I started a file about being left at the altar yet again. The first sentence is, for the second time in 4 months, the Heat have been left at the altar by Giannis because you have to be. The one thing, Joe, we know, these things are ever evolving. And this continues to evolve because why wouldn't the Bucks seek to get the best possible offer? No one's playing another NBA game for another 4 months. No one's drafting for another 10 days. There's still a market out there to be searched, and I think that's what the Bucks, as they should be, are doing.
Yo, what's the deal, Detroit Warren? What up, though, homie? I ain't seen you in a little while. What up, Louisiana Gal? My dog Mike Morgan in the building. Appreciate you. Mike say, have I heard? Greg, what's popping, homie? Mike say, have I heard anything about Asar and Isaiah Stewart to the Pels? That's something we talk about quite a bit, me and Alvin. Haven't heard anything with legs necessarily. King Randy, what's the deal, bro? But I do believe if they were interested in Trey Murphy, the deal would have to start with Asar and Isaiah Stewart. I think that's more of an educated guess, to be honest. And I'm sure Trajan still has some connections in this building. Yeah, I think y'all know the connections I would be talking about. So if people probably want to pry some information from Trajan, I'm sure there's a way to do it. But I think that would be just mainly the most educated guess. I think, to me, I look at it like this. The Pelicans have the talent advantage in the trade, and Portland has the picks advantage in the trade because Portland owns so much of Milwaukee's future draft capital. But if Milwaukee don't want to be bad, it may not matter, right? But the Pelicans, of course, got Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, DeJounte, Derek Queen. It all depends on what Milwaukee wanted. Because Milwaukee also wants to sell tickets. So if they wanted to expedite the process, maybe they'll be interested in a talent-laden package versus a picks-laden package. So we got to go say Pelicans, Atlanta, Portland, Milwaukee isn't really worried about the 27 pick the Pelicans have. And thank you for receiving the Pelicans picks will be more valuable. And they have interest in Derek Queen. Hey, look, I'm with you, Louisiana Gal. I kind of feel like that too. Like y'all need a big man. Y'all trying to thread the needle. Boston would be trying to continue to thread the needle because people say they want Jaylen Brown. Cold. Milwaukee is also trying to thread the needle a little bit. They're trying to get younger, but they don't want to be non-competitive necessarily. Pelicans picks are probably always going to hold more value. I don't know, son. I'm doing that. I ain't gonna lie. And to me, this is gonna be the first. Well, what up with your Pelicans, Nola? God bless you, fam. Appreciate your support always. Brandon, what's the deal, fam? Greg said I don't want no more non-scores. Yeah, hey, you ain't gotta worry about that with Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown would instantly be probably the best player on the team. Louis, that guy say Portland, of course, owns a bunch of future Bucks picks of Shaden Sharp. that's the thing. So I wonder if the Shannon Sharp, he under contract right now, probably gonna be due for another extension relatively soon. I'm like, do you really? If you're Milwaukee, you got Rollins. I'm sorry, yeah, you got Rollins, you got AJ. AJ not that young, but you got some younger guards. You got KCP, not KCP, KPJ. Do you really need Shaden Sharp? Like, would you, if you're Milwaukee, it's like, would you prefer Shaden Sharp and his trajectory, his upside versus a Derek Queen or a maybe Trey Murphy, maybe Herb Jones to kind of fill out the defensive end? It's not really all about what Milwaukee wants. Now, personally, from what I was told, Milwaukee has not been getting the interest that they initially thought that they would get for Giannis. Probably due to age and some injury concern, from what I was told. Pelicans could be being used as leverage in this situation. Well, what's that with your most hated? Pelicans could be potentially being used as leverage in this situation. And that's the truth. And so that's why, for me, I got these ready to go, but I don't want to get my hopes up too high. I got this ready to go. It's in the clip. It's fully loaded. You know what I'm saying? We ready. We ready. But I don't know. I feel like it's until I talk to more good people and they confirm the interest to me. Look, I'm sure the interest is there. But until I talk to more good people and they like, nah, we going after this. Like this is going down. Then I will feel more confident in the Pelicans pursuit. You know what I'm saying? I feel more confident in the Pelicans pursuit. I ain't heard from nobody today concerning Jaylen Brown, but my Milwaukee play all kind of game. Look, if David Stern was still running the league, he would have forced Milwaukee to trade Giannis to fucking Miami. Because we all sick and tired of this. South Louisiana girl, see, I would say all those leaks are coming from Boston. I totally agree. And this isn't even necessarily new information. Like this, this is pretty much echoing the same thing that Jake Fisher said. So this isn't like necessarily new information. So I don't know. I don't know if it's reason to be getting too excited, but it's certainly interesting. And to me, this would be like the first real test that we know of anyway, if it's true for the Pelicans front office, because it's like, how aggressive do you want to be? Because in theory, Jaylen Brown checks every box. Toughness, you shoot, leader, winner, champion, checks every box. But how aggressive do you want to be? Like, could it potentially be, I mean, this won't be the same, but could it potentially be like, I drafted Derek Queen, now I traded him for Giannis? Would it be like Buddy Hield and you traded him for Boogie Cousins? Could it be something like that? If that is the case, if Boston genuinely has interest, it's gonna be interesting to see, dog. It's gonna be interesting to see. I know some people are a little divided. Greg said he with it. Detroit Warren, he a little bit on the fence. He said you don't think Jaylen can demand a double team. Wealthy Few, what's the deal? He say Herb, Poole, Filler, Bucks pick, 3 future firsts for Brown and number 10 this year. I don't know you can get number 10. Because the way the Bucks moving, the Bucks acting like they about to have multiple firsts in this round. Well, they're working out people as if they're going to have multiple firsts this year. Now, whether that's true or not, this is smoke season. That's another thing. This is totally smoke season, leverage, etc. Like, we then again say 2 days ago, everyone thought the Miami deal was done. I don't know if Boston's leaking to get people to call in on Jaylen. Jaylen seems leaking to get out of Boston. I also wouldn't rule out Trey and DeJounte's salary being used. Yeah, I think, somebody I'm cool with. They really feel like Trey is halfway out the door. So someone I'm cool with. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but this person really ain't got no reason to feel this way unless the vibes of feeling that way. Pelicans Nola, say Chaz, man, ring the phone. Chaz, what's the news? Hey, look, the most I know for real is that the Pelicans like Jaylen Brown, like far as they like him as a player. I have not. I've been told matter of factly that no real conversations have happened. That's what I've been told. Matter of fact, no real conversations have happened. But that was a few days ago. That was like last week. I don't know if they talked since then. Things change. I don't know. But the last I heard is that they like him. That's all I know. Right. I keep, I'm keeping it real with y'all. There's not even no shit. I'm gonna double back and tell the members, like for real. I'm keeping it real with y'all. But I do got a membership show dropping today also. I think personally, to Louisiana Girl's point, I think Jaylen ready to go, kind of. And Boston, like, well, we'll help you if you're really ready to go. I think it just gauging interest. I don't think it's necessarily a trade demand, but Jaylen Brown is in China right now talking cash money shit. I don't know if y'all been seeing Jaylen Brown post in China or wherever he's at in Hong Kong, but he's talking cash money shit. He's going in on ESPN, going in on a lot of things. Man, I think it would be an ideal situation to bring him on home to New Orleans. With Atlanta, to me, he would have to force his way to Atlanta because I'm like, if you're Milwaukee, it's like you want Okongwu, Nikhil, and Kaminga. Like, and I guess at pick eight would be the deciding factor. But do you really? I mean, what's that going to do for you? Like, I don't really know, like, what Milwaukee will want necessarily. Because Jaylen Brown's already, like, he's already 29, if I'm not mistaken, about 29. So he's more on the Pelicans and Portland timeline. So he would fit better there. I don't really know what he would fit in Milwaukee. I'm sure they would make them a cool, solid team, but I'm not really sure what they would want. But I definitely need to find out because I'm an advocate for this trade. I'm with it. I'm an advocate for this trade. Like, to me, this is where the rubber meets the road for aggression. This is where the rubber meets the road for aggression. Now, I ain't saying go out there and play yourself. But Finals MVP candidate, All NBA guy. If Herb all defense, I guess you could call Jaylen Brown all defense. I'm not even sure if Jaylen Brown even made an all defensive team, but defense and shoot, again, leadership, all the qualities you would want. And then if you're Jamal Mosley, like, damn, Jaylen Brown just beat me in the series last year. They've been killing me 4 times a year for the last 5 years or so. If I'm Joe Dumars, like, or Troy Weaver rather, Jaylen Brown been killing my Pistons 4 times a year the last X amount of years or so before I moved to New Orleans. Then he came to New Orleans and bust my ass. So, man, I think this would be an excellent opportunity and time for the Pelicans to, like, if it's possible, if it's real, because I think it's Boston really just gauging the interest. Y'all in here, do me a favor, hit the like button for me, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I really think this is just coming from Boston. I really think this is coming from Boston. And, Milwaukee, they wait until the last minute to try to drum up as much interest as possible. Certain teams, I just can't see it happening. Like, I mean, like, Minnesota was mentioned as a Giannis candidate, and the reference they use or the phrase they use, like, they're going to move heaven and earth to try to get Giannis, is like, I can't imagine Milwaukee or any third team really wanting Julius Randle. You say McDaniels is not on the trade block. It's like, I guess. But even if he was, it's like McDaniels and Shannon and stuff. But Giannis, excuse me, would that work? Boston, to me, could really make something happen. I think Boston really make something happen. Don Gitter say, okay, if it's JB, cool, but I better never hear the 2 timelines thing ever again. For real, ain't JB 30. I don't think 2 timelines are actively here now. Like, I mentioned this on the show last night. you don't have a timeline until, well, you don't have a new timeline until you have a new guy. Like you draft a guy. Pelicans don't have a new guy just yet, in my opinion. That's no disrespect to Fears of Queen. Zion is still the guy. He's still the best player head and shoulders. You're still on the Zion Williamson timeline until you get somebody on the team that's better than Zion Williamson, and then you're on that timeline, in my opinion. I think there's still one timeline to me. I guess I just think it's 50-50. Jones kept everything close tight to the vest. Pelicans have the most flexible salary, young players. Yeah. Like for Portland, again, if we're talking about talent and Deeney is off the table, I mean, that would be crazy. Like if Deeney's off the table, I don't think Portland can match the Pelicans talent-wise. And then salary becomes an issue because Scoot is still on a rookie scale deal, if I'm not mistaken. You pair Scoot with Shaedon Sharpe, I guess that's, but Ryan Rollins, Scoot, Shaedon Sharpe, maybe Jeremy Grant. Like that's not a very like talent-rich package, in my opinion. Tone Shifter said trading JB for 36 games playing, 3 postseasons missed due to injuries, limited offensive player, limited defensive player without demanding Milwaukee give draft capital with GM malpractice. You talk about Giannis? I'm guessing you're talking about Giannis. Personally, I think Jaylen Brown is better than Giannis today. I think today, to me, Jaylen Brown is better than Giannis. But Brad Stevens say he kind of wants to shift the way of playing. He wants guys to going to attack the basket more. Giannis getting on my fucking nerves, honestly, because truthfully, and I'm just being transparent. Unless it's Boston, maybe, I don't think any team Giannis goes to becomes a contender, like just with that move. I think you still need a bunch, like a couple other moves. I don't think Giannis moves the needle like that unless this is an already very good team. He just goes to that team and puts them over the edge. Like, that's just my opinion. Giannis could have his best career year ever, but that's just my opinion. I don't think Giannis moving the needle like that, personally. Don Guillory, excuse me, y'all. Still getting over my cold. Don Guillory said, I'm just surprised we haven't heard more DeJounte rumors. We can't be keeping DeJounte, right? The Pelicans just keep everything close to the vest, though. I can tell you that now. They got rid of most of the snitches. They got rid of most of the snitches. I ain't gonna hold you. They keep everything very close to the vest and professional. We then again say George kept leaks to a minimum, but there's a reason Boston keeps sending out signals about the Pels. There's a lot of smoke about the Pels having combos with Boston, Detroit, and Dallas. I mean, to me, I understand like Troy's affinity for some of the players he drafted, but I just don't. To me, I'm trying to understand how it would balance out. Like if you were doing something like, say, DeJounte for Isaiah Stewart and I don't know, some other salary, like matching salary. Let's say DeJounte for Isaiah Stewart and Karis LeVert. That would make sense to me. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I just don't understand, like, and I like Asar a lot defensively, but Asar is a total non-factor on offense. And potentially you'll be trading the only shooter that you got on the roster currently. So I don't know if that deal necessarily has any legs as it pertains to Trey. With Dallas, I can see them trying to get pick 9. I absolutely can see them trying to get pick 9 for Herb or something along those lines. I can absolutely see that. Now I can't say who would y'all be giving up for JB, Trey Murphy, and what else? Probably Trey Murphy, DeJounte, and picks, if I had to imagine. Yeah, if I had to imagine, it would be something like that. Trey Murphy, DeJounte. A stretch would be Queen in picks. To me, my limit would be 3 first. Like if it's Trey Murphy and DeJounte, my limit is probably like 3 first. Because you should be able to buy fucking like 5 years of competent basketball. If Queen is added, maybe 2 first. It would be better if DeJounte actually like played recently, then his value wouldn't necessarily be a negative. But since it kind of currently is, 3 firsts probably will be about the market. in my opinion. 3 first should be about the market, just in my opinion. Tone say Brad Stevens is the worst GM I've ever witnessed Boston have. Really? I mean, he got a ring, but traded Simons for Vucevic was terrible. That was terrible in my opinion. That was terrible in my opinion. Let's see. Said they better not trade DQ. I mean, to what end? I mean, if it boils down to it, and this is what I mean by the timeline thing, right? You would have to absolutely believe that you're going to get the best version of Derek Queen within the next like 5 years if you choose not to move him. Because Derek Queen, in 5 years, Derek Queen is going to be what, 27? He's going to be entering his prime. So you would have to really believe in him to pass up this deal, because Jaylen Brown not showing no signs of slowing down right now. In fact, he just had his best year on a team that didn't have a ton of talent necessarily. Like, Peyton Pritchard was starting. Derek White had a down year. Tatum was out all year. Like, and Jaylen Brown just had a phenomenal individual and team year, missing Tatum 90% of the season. So if you compare that to Derek, like, okay, let's say he'll be 22 next season, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, you're 22 going into your second year. If he don't have like a great year next year, then I kick a can. You're 23. Now you got to start talking about an extension, and it's like, what is the steak worth the sizzle? That's what it's going to boil down to. Is the steak worth the sizzle? And if Jaylen Brown if he's a real option, but we don't know if he's a real option, and the Pelicans like him, then Derek Queen got to be on the table. I would imagine that Derek Queen got to at least be on the table, especially if it'll save you a first. If it'll save you a first. Shout out to Louisiana Gal. Louisiana Gal, I just got a text that said Milwaukee would also like to trade Miles Turner, whatever 3-team deal that potentially happen. Yeah, I saw that yesterday about Bobby Portis too as well. That's a lot, man. Milwaukee kind of tripping. That's a lot of fucking salary to send out, because Giannis is at what, 50 something, and Miles Turner has a trade kicker, if I'm not mistaken, that will probably boost his salary up to like close to 30. So how the fuck you about to send out like 75 to 80 million? Like, you would have to be taken back. You're gonna need somebody with a huge contract. You're gonna need somebody with a huge, and then that's if somebody actually wants Miles Turner. Miles Turner had a terrible year last year. So they got a lot of things to work out. Now, what you could do in theory, if Milwaukee just wanted to clear the books, hypothetically, right? You could do something along the lines of, let's say like Trey and DeJounte to Boston. No, Trey and DeJounte to, I don't know, fucking Milwaukee, maybe, and Poole to Boston or something like that. That's a lot of money for them to move. I don't even know how they would functionally do that. That is a ton of money for them to move in one deal. They probably had to rope in a 14. That would be crazy. I need NY to go ahead and end the series tomorrow, ready for the draft and free agent talk to ramp up. Yeah, same here, man. I'm hoping this shit is over with by tomorrow. It should be already be over with, to be honest, but I'm hoping it's over with tomorrow. And look, it's funny because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take some time off, man. This might be a 7-game series, and I'm gonna just take some time off. I ain't fucking with the NBA right now. And then the greatest comeback ever happened. Don Gillery say family DQ might could go. I ain't gonna lie. In that scenario, I think he has to be on the table. I'm not gonna hold you, son. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Hit that like button for me if you're in here, man. I appreciate all y'all tapping in. I know this is a middle of the day show. I gotta stop doing this. I gotta start giving y'all some warning ahead of time, but I got a interview I think y'all gonna be very interested in seeing coming up. I'm gonna upload that to the members Got a very interesting interview coming up today. I think y'all will be interested in seeing it. But you know, when the Jaylen Brown talk started heating up, that's my guy. That's my guy. People know I fucks with Jaylen Brown like that. So people was like, yo, shut up with we almost got him. I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't believe nothing until I see it. Because this is smoke season. Like Louisiana gal said, I think Boston trying to get rid of Jaylen on the cool. Just like, look, not saying he's available, but if he was available, what kind of deal would you give us for Jaylen Brown? I think that's the conversation. Truthfully, I think that's the conversation. So if it was like Jaylen Brown to the Pelicans, Giannis to Boston, and trade DeJounte and picks, or maybe not trade, maybe Herb, DeJounte and stuff and picks to Milwaukee. Maybe you keep Trey out of this. Maybe you could realistically keep Trey out of this, especially if you giving up picks. Well, what up, my dog? Hey, what's up, Chaz? Man, they got people saying Banks over Fab. Man, please. Ooh, like I like Banks. Banks got some classics, but Fab, especially when he was doing like the funeral Fab thing, I probably give the edge to Fab only because Banks changed his voice. You know, Banks started doing that. When he started rapping fast and changed his voice, I was still fucking with Fab. I'm gonna kill him dead. Come and pick the bodies up. Bitches trying to kick it like they just took karate up. Yo, my phone blowing up, dog. I know y'all hear that. My phone going crazy. Yo, so we gonna end this because I ain't really got no new information. So when I hear something, I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk about it. I do got an interview coming up later. It's gonna be recorded, it's not gonna be live. But shout out to everybody in the building, man. I appreciate y'all joining me. My shout out to Benny in the building, dog. What's happening with your homie? Benny, shout out to homie. My consensus on this. Yeah, he from Atlanta. But I don't know if Atlanta really got the talent via trade to really pull off something like that, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know if they maybe they love Kuminga. Maybe they love Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Maybe they love Dyson Daniels for whatever fucking reason, because that would be insane. But yeah, man. So I do believe they've had conversations with Detroit. I think them having conversations with Dallas is very realistic. I think them having conversations with Atlanta is very realistic for New Orleans, because that seems to be about the range that Mara would be in, maybe Nate Ament would be in, some of the more talented guys would be in. But I think they checking under every rock and checking every crease. I think they working the phones in a major way, because they've been pretty radio silent since Mosley was announced. Like, Joe don't just be out there willing and dealing. Troy ain't really out there willing and dealing. They've been very radio silent and moving around. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure they've been on the phone, working the phone, moving around. Yeah, Sir Charles said JB sold his place in Boston, went on vacation in China. He might have notified the Celtics he's open to a trade. Maybe. Because he did say that he's tired of his name being in trade rumors every year. Like, you know, he's tired of his name being in trade rumors every single season. Jay didn't say, Chaz, I understand the potential of getting a superstar player like JB, but you just traded a top 8 pick for DQ last year, and DQ going to be a very good player. Well, we don't know if he's going to be a very good player, to be honest. He could suck. Like, you know, that's the reality of the situation with young players. Like, you don't know if they ever go really like blossom. Look, I thought Jackson Hayes was going to be good. And Lord knows I was wrong. I thought Jackson Hayes was gonna be good. Y'all, excuse me, I'm still dealing with a cough. I got these cough drops here. These bitches, they work, but they ain't working good right now. So we'll see. We'll see. And here's the thing: if you had the 8th pick in this draft, if Jaylen Brown's available, you probably trade it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the real. If you wanted to win right now, you had the 8th pick, not a top 2 pick, but the 8th pick in this draft, and Jaylen Brown was available, you probably traded for Jaylen Brown. Like, that's just the real. You know what I'm saying? Greg said, how you feel about Zion this upcoming season? A lot of pressure on him. For a number of reasons. One, you got to get paid. You know, it's time for you to earn that contract extension. The league, it's kind of moving on rather rapidly. So it's time for you to kind of snatch your crown back. The talent is still there. Hopefully he can hit the ground running this year. No one's ever questioned Giants' talent. It's all about the availability and the deliverables on the court, the want, the going the extra mile to get it done on the court. And it just remains to be seen. See how he meshes with Coach Mosley and how they build out the rest of this roster. Hopefully, see how he meshes with Jaylen Brown in New Orleans. Say, watch OKC get him for Dorton picks. Boy, if they do some weird shit like that, I'd be like, what is Boston doing? Like, because something like that, to me, something weird like that could happen. But the good thing is OKC got to share like $40-50 million in salary before they can do anything. Before they can even like really aggregate contracts. So that's a good thing that OKC only got so many avenues in the short term. But still, you can't let the OKC get them. That'd be fucked up. Let me see. You can't let OKC or San Antonio get better. The rest of the teams have to band together. Do not deal with them. Yeah, you got to freeze them out like Pop tried to freeze out the Lakers. Honestly, look, it's all about matchups. I think the Pelicans match up well with OKC. I don't think they will. I'm not OKC with San Antonio. I don't think they would win the series, but I think they match up well with them, right? So, and if you got a good coach, you make a couple moves here and there. I think Zion is the perfect guy to go against Wemby. Derek, I even thought Derek defended Wemby well in the post in that game that we won. I think we won that game in New Orleans. No, we lost that game in New Orleans, but I think Derek defended it well in the post. I ain't too worried about San Antonio, honestly. But I am worried about OKC pulling a trade out of nowhere and just doing something fucking crazy, like for real. Talking to for life, say, bring Jaylen in. Yo, I'm with you. I said, let's do it. I'm like, look, you want to be aggressive? You want to, what up, Savage? You want to be aggressive? You want to make a splash? You want to immediately, get in the conversations in the Western Conference? Jaylen Brown does that for you. Leadership, defense, championship pedigree, winner. Availability has been there. Can shoot, can defend. Just all around dog, like just an all-around player, can score from anywhere on the court. It's an all-around guy. LeBron said, go get Gafford. I'm not really a Gafford fan, honestly. I know some people like Gafford. To me, Gafford kind of like a middle of the road type center. He just got a contract extension too. I'm not sure what the number is, but to me, he kind of like a middle of the road type center. He's okay. Like, I mean, he's solid. Well, what up with you, Al? What up with you, Al, man? Speaking on this Jaylen Brown news or lack thereof. Look, for the people who missed the clip, I'm about to run it back and then we gonna get out of here, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. I appreciate y'all rocking with me.
He'll throw this up on Twitter.
And while I run this clip, hit the like button for me, y'all. I appreciate y'all in the building.
He'll throw this up on Twitter. But yeah, I think Boston not only is back in it, but I think Milwaukee right now is simply trying to find a third team for Jaylen Brown. They don't want a player like that. They don't want a mid-career player if they're trading Giannis. So from what I've heard, they are looking at Jaylen Brown in terms of flipping him to another team. I've been told possibly Atlanta. There you go, Hollywood. I've been told possibly New Orleans, who have young players. Could be as simple as Jonathan Kuminga and a boatload of picks between Boston and Atlanta if he goes to Atlanta. New Orleans, we know, as Herb Jones has young players. So, yeah, that's very real. And a matter of fact, it's interesting. When I was on with Hockman last week, I said, because this is what I do, I was preparing my Heat Get Giannis story, because you have to be ready in this business.
Right.
This morning.
Look, exactly. Milwaukee needs Herb Jones. Jordan Poole is a fucking Milwaukee legend. You need Jordan Poole. What are y'all? Why is this even a conversation? This shouldn't even be a conversation. Trade Jaylen Brown to the Pelicans and bring the fucking legend home. Bring Jordan Poole home. What are we doing here? We just disrespecting legends now? We don't give legends their flowers? That's what we doing. That's how far the world has fallen. We don't give legends their flowers. Man, Jordan Poole did a lot for Milwaukee, man. Bring Jordan Poole home, man. Stop all this bullshit. You need Herb Jones. Herb Jones is the ultimate culture guy. He like hunting. He like fishing. That's Milwaukee. Like, come on, man. What are we doing here, man? I can't believe this is a conversation. I can't believe this is a conversation. Whoa, what up with your Harvard? What up with your Shy Entertainment? My dog said we have to jump in that trade by any means. Yeah, look, by any means necessary. Like Malcolm would say, I need a piece of that. I need parts. I need parts on that deal. I ain't gonna hold you. There ain't no deal going down. If I got my motherfucking hands in it, I need parts on that. Look, from here on, nothing goes down unless I'm involved. No blackjack, no dope deals, nothing. Nah, I need parts on that motherfucking deal. Somebody is giving the Pelicans something good in this deal off the rip. I'm not even playing. Residual say bring Wardell Hawkins home. Yeah, well, Hawkins, that just sounds like Jordan Hawkins sounds like a Milwaukee Bucks name. Like Jordan Hawkins, number 25 for the Bucks. They got a ring to it. They got a ring to it. That makes sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm with you. I feel you on that, Residual, for sure. Yeah, Pool like cheese. They got plenty of cheese in Wisconsin. Shout out to the Cheeseheads. Jaylen Brown night might be the best Pelican. Yeah, look, man, we need to make this happen. If it's true, because, I mean, again, this is probably coming from Boston. But if it's true, we need to make it happen. But, yo, that's today's show. Shout out to everybody in the building. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell notification. You understand? I appreciate everybody. And Quantas, I see you, bro. I appreciate everybody tapping in with me, man. Again, I got another show lined up. Hopefully, everything comes together. But much love to y'all, and hopefully the finals over. Say yes, give him Herb and Poole. Do it now. Yeah, for sure. Justin Davis say how many picks you willing to move? I think I max out at 3. If I'm trading Trey Murphy, I max out at 3. If I traded Trey Murphy and Derek Queen, probably 2 in the swap. You can twist my arm for 3, but maybe 2 in the swap. Yeah, 2 in the swap. 2 in the swap. Because if I'm trading Trey worth at least 2 first. I'm not about to give you fucking 6, 7 first. So if I'm keeping Trey, 3 in the swap. If Trey get to stay in New Orleans, 3 picks in the swap. Easy. DeJounte, Herb, and Queen, 3 picks in the swap for sure. Off the rip. RJ, what's the deal, bro? But I'm out, y'all. Much love to y'all. Have a safe, blessed weekend. We out. Peace.